Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Do Ministry Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about the Path of Exile Delve League mechanic. So when you map, you're going to come across these voltaic sulphite veins. Sulphite is the primary resource for the delve mechanic in order for you to delve. And all you have to do when you come across one of these is collect the sulphite, and you can see it disappeared in the top right there, but a little bar that shows you how much sulphite you have. I'll just go to another mound here just to show you. Mine's at 600. It's in the top right here. And all you have to do when you map is collect. That is the only thing you need to do when you're mapping. But now I'll show you the sulphite mine, which is the area that you can do the rest of the delve mechanics in. All right, so right now I'm in an area called the Azurite mine. And the way to access this is through the waypoint. You can see here a button on the right, the mine encampment. All you have to do is click on that when you're in the waypoint, and you'll come to here, which is the Azurite mine. And in here, you can do a few things. There's Niko, who is the primary NPC for the mechanic. He'll sell you some stuff, which I'll show you later in the video. There's something called a voltaic generator, which I'll show you in a bit as well. And also, finally, the subterranean chart. Now, when you click on this chart, it pulls up a map. And what you're seeing here, this is the map of the Azurite mine, which is the sort of the delve map. And this mine, the idea behind this is that it is a bit of an endless dungeon, we'll call it. You can go as far as you want in any direction on this map. But as you can see, there's a line here. The yellow line is kind of where I've traveled to. And depending on your level, it'll kind of put you at a default certain, call it depth. So as you go down, you're going deeper, and the monsters will get harder and the level will go up. But when you go sideways, the monsters will stay sort of the same level and whatnot. Let me just show you a little bit more detail what I'm talking about here. So when I hover over one of these nodes, you can see a few things here. This singed camp here is a depth level of 34, and in this depth currently at 34, the monsters are level 67. The monster levels do cap at 83 when you get deeper, and in this particular node it says contains weapons. Let me go show you the one that I haven't been to now. So the one down here is a depth of 35, so it's gone one depth deeper, and the monster level 68, so it's gone one level higher. And at the bottom here, it actually says a cost 77 sulphite. So that sulphite, the 600 over here on the right, that you've been collecting when you're mapping is used for you to delve. So you need to have sulphite to delve. And then there's another currency called Azurite, and that's what you collect when you're inside the mine. It's this blue stuff. It's blue, this icon up here on the right. I have 0 of these right now. But you can see on this next node here, if I were to go to it, I would be collecting Azurite. It contains Azurite. So you may have already noticed and guessed, but on each of these icons, you can receive different rewards. So in this one particular, it is Azurite. But there's also, as you can see around the map, there's this weapon node here. There's a jewelry node here. There's an armor node down here. There's an item node over here. So there's currency nodes as well, which I can't see here. There's some gem nodes, etc., etc. So I'm just going to show you an example now of what to do when you delve. So all I have to do is click on the icon that you want to go to, and the mine will load. Once you load up a node inside the mine, you're going to see this crawler that you have to protect to the next node. So all I have to do is start delve, and basically this cart will move on its own. You don't have to do anything. You just have to follow it. One thing to note is the cart itself has a little light on it. That's important, as I'll explain a little bit later. You know, it's got a radius of light that you're quote unquote, you know, safe in. But quickly before that, you know, monsters are spawning, and again, you're basically just escorting this cart to the next location, which he's here now. So, and then at the end of the location, usually there's a bunch of monsters that spawn. There could be something that you need to interact with in order to complete the node. So in this case, I have to interact with this pure living Azurite. And what it'll do is it'll spawn a bunch of monsters and I have to kill them all, and then the Azurite will drop. Once I've done it, all the Azurite has dropped, and Azurite, all you have to do is walk over it and it will collect it. Some loot will drop. You know, you can see with the loot filter off, there's the loot. And then you can go to, by clicking the cart, I've completed the destination, and now I can go to the next one. So I'm just going to do another one here just to show you some of the other things I didn't talk about in the last trip here. And it costs 77 sulphite. It'll consume that sulphite there in the top right. And now we're going again. Now, I mentioned before there's a light on the cart that matters because you have to stay inside the light in the mine. Otherwise, you're going to take damage. So if I just leave, I'm in the darkness here. You can see my health going down. It hurts a lot if you don't have darkness, something called darkness resistance. So you can die very quickly if you're out of the light. So make sure you stay with the cart. There are upgrades you can get, which I'll show you after this cart makes the next destination here, to increase the light radius of the cart and also to increase your resistance to the darkness. I'm back in the dark now. I'm going to show you my life going down. So you can die very quickly if you're away from the cart. So don't be away from the cart for too long. Again, this is another Azurite encounter, so I just interact with it. And now I'm going to talk about some of the upgrades that you can get in the mine, like the light radius and the darkness resistance. So all I have to do is go back to the mine encampment. So every time you click on the cart, you can either return to your hideout or return to the mine encampment. So I've done that. And here, once you've collected some Azurite, here at the Voltaxic generator is where you can do some upgrades. So along the top here is kind of the light and dark type of upgrades and sulphite capacity. So you notice my sulphite bar goes up to 600. You can upgrade this to increase that capacity. So in order to upgrade, I need 4 Azurite. I've got 240, so I can do that. And you can see I've gone from 600 to 900 capacity. I'll do it again. And now I've got up to 1350. So now I can collect up to 1350 sulphite every time I want to delve. The next is darkness resistance. Like I say, in the darkness, you take damage. This works just like regular elemental resistances. I'm at a minus 68 right now, which is why I take so much damage. When I'm out of the light, I can upgrade that to minus 38. I'll do it again to minus 8. So I'll take a lot less damage now when I'm in the darkness. And then the third is the light radius. So from the cart, the light radius will be bigger. It's at 32% right now. Upgrade 62, upgrade 92. So those are the 3 main upgrades you can get. Then there's a couple items specific to the delve mine that you can use inside the mine. The first is a flare. So that's an item that you have to buy, first of all, for 5 Azurite. So I've got 3 here. And you can notice these buttons on the bottom right. One is for the flare and one is for the dynamite. You can hotkey these as well. Mine are currently 6 and 7. So the flare should be pretty intuitive. It drops a flare, it drops a light source so that you can be in the dark. And you can upgrade that as well in terms of capacity, how long the flare lasts, and the radius of the flare. And the second item is called the dynamite. You can get a couple of those. These are useful in the mine when you come across a wall that you can blow up. It says here in the tooltip as well, can be used to destroy fractured walls, are called. I'm going to see if I can find you an example of one of these walls inside the mine so that I can show you. All right, so occasionally when you're delving off the beaten path over here, the cart will never go here, but so you kind of have to explore on the side. But in the side areas, sometimes there's these fractured walls. You just see how I kind of just walked in here. I dropped the flare so that I'm not dying. But what you can do is drop a dynamite right at the wall here, and it'll explode. It'll kill the wall. And behind it usually is some treasures. So in this case, hidden loot and hidden treasures. There are a lot of these side areas as you delve, and behind it can have sort of different types of rewards. And one of the main rewards that you can collect that can be useful are what's called fossils and resonators, which I'll show you what they are right now. All right, so I'm back at the mine encampment now, and I've got my stash open. This is the Delve Stash tab. It is a premium stash tab, and by no means do you need to have it for any of this to work, but it is a nice way to organize all of your delve-specific drops. And what I mentioned before is off the beaten path behind those fractured walls, oftentimes you can collect the delve items, which are fossils and resonators. So I'm going to show you what those are now. So along the top here are all the different fossils that you can collect. They all function the same way, but they do different things. And what they are crafting items. They allow you to craft gear in different ways. So for example, this dense fossil that I've got highlighted here says more defense modifiers and no life modifiers. What that means is if you use this fossil to craft an item, to what we call fossil craft an item, it will roll the item with, as you can see, more defense modifiers and no life modifiers. So it's a very powerful way to craft items in order to limit the pool of mods that the item can roll. And the way to use these fossils on items is you have to socket them into what's called these resonators at the bottom. So this one here is a one socket resonator. I'm just going to show you very quickly how that works. I need to take the dense fossil. I need to put it into the resonator. And now this resonator acts like a chaos orb, more defense, less no life modifier. So I can probably just show you that on this pair of boots here. You just use it like a chaos orb, and I've clicked on it and it has rolled no life modifiers and more defense modifiers. So that's how fossils work. And there are different types. You can get resonators from 1 to 4 sockets. So the 4 being the most powerful, obviously, because you can actually put a number of different of these to limit what you want to roll. So that's the crafting portion of the delve mechanic. What you can do also is Niko also sells some resonators if you're looking for some. They cost Azurite, which is the blue currency you get inside the mine, not outside the mine. And there are, just like alchemy orbs and chaos orbs, 2 types of resonators. There's the alchemy sort of resonators and chaos resonators. So use the one that's appropriate for the craft that you need. All right, one final thing I'll mention here is that in the mine itself, there are some special sort of nodes that you can get to. For example, this one here, the Grand Architect's Temple. These are basically delve bosses that drop sort of delve-specific unique items. Another thing to note is there's also these special sort of areas. They're highlighted in the yellow box here. They're just sort of little special areas with sort of more rewards than the typical node. All right, everybody, that should be everything you need to know to at least get started with the Delve League mechanic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the video was helpful. If you enjoyed it and my other content, please like and subscribe. I also stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Times are in the description below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.